To go here with some questions for you. Let's start with James Crapia from the Oregonian.
Tyler, just going back to about 7 months ago now, but spring ends abruptly, and 2 weeks later you go from learning an offense and having things kind of stopped and paused to now having a pretty fierce quarterback competition. Just what was your initial reaction to everything back in late March, early April when, again, everything kind of paused, obviously, when this all started, and then Anthony committing?
Yeah, obviously it was an unfortunate situation getting shut down, but coming into it, Coach Cristobal and all the other coaches, we sat down and talked about, what's going to be best for the team, and we had to bring a competition in here in order to create a competition in the quarterback room to make everybody better. So wasn't really shocked after the spring, but just knowing that, what our work in the offseason was going to mean and how I was going to prepare myself and the guys around me to get better was going to be crucial.
Next question goes to Matt Preem from 247 Sports.
Yeah, Tyler, weird offseason, one we've never really seen before. No spring ball and lots of Zoom meetings. How would you just describe your comfort level with this new offense, and maybe how does that compare to this point in fall camp the previous 2 years here?
Yeah, I honestly feel a lot more comfortable with it than maybe in the offense in the past, just because, I spent a lot of time in the offseason with the amount of off time we had, just studying the playbook, getting with Coach Housewright, Coach Costa, and Coach Moorhead, just trying to get as far ahead as I can in the playbook for when we do go through these installs in the fall, that I'm not surprised by anything, and I already kind of have a base understanding of it. And a lot of that comes with only work and repetitions with some of the wide receivers. And I felt like, going into it, granted with all the time and resources that we had, I felt like, I had no regrets, and I did everything I could to put me in a position to come into this battle and come into the fall ready to play.
Next question goes to Max Torres from Scoop Duck.
Tyler, great to meet you, man. We've had some awesome quarterbacks come through here at Oregon. Obviously, you're going to be finding yourself compared to guys like Justin Herbert and the like. But, with the spotlight kind of on you, what kind of legacy do you want to leave at Oregon?
Yeah, obviously you can't replace a guy like Justin Herbert and, guys before him. I'm just trying to be myself. I'm trying to be Tyler and make my own name and write my own story in this chapter here. So I'm excited for what's to come in the future, and I'm just really thankful that we can hopefully have a season and get some time.
We'll go to Eric Scopel from 247 Sports.
Hey, Tyler, good to see you again. When they made the addition of Brown, you mentioned it a second ago, you were up for the challenge. How has maybe just having him around helped you grow as a quarterback and maybe take your game up a level?
Yeah, it's honestly been the best thing for me and the quarterbacks, because, he brings a level of maturity, because, he's an older guy. He has a good understanding of football itself. He's a great guy, great friend, great teammate, and overall he's just a great addition to the team. And I think, I'm getting better because of it, and I know he is. So it's honestly been a great process, and I'm really thankful for it.
Next question goes to Ryan Thorburn from the Register Guard.
Tyler, getting that time to be around Justin and learn from him, I know that really helped you. You've said that in the past, but kind of a strange question. I'm just wondering, does his success in the NFL, tearing it up, 3 Rookie of the Week honors already, does that in any way give you even more confidence knowing, not only was he a good player at Oregon, but what he's doing right now in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm super happy for him. All the success he's had here at Oregon is translating to the NFL, and it's not really a shocker to me, because I know he's so talented physically, and he works extremely hard. So I'm super proud of him, and I'm really really glad to see what he's doing up there. And it's obviously something and someplace that I want to be someday, and all the guys on our team. So he's been a great influence on us.
Next up, AJ Jacobson from Rivals.
Tyler, I wanted to get your opinion of some of the standout wide receivers that have been catching the ball from you and the other quarterbacks this fall camp, and just give us an impression on what you're seeing from a quarterback's perspective.
Yeah, a lot of guys I'm really comfortable with so far, and putting a lot of work in the offseason are guys like Johnny Johnson, Jalen Redd, Micah Pittman, Devin Williams, Josh Delgado. The list goes on. Every single guy that has been asked to step up to the plate has been. And, I've been working with mainly the first 3 guys that I said, and Johnny, Micah, and Jalen Redd. And, we just had a great chemistry so far. I feel so comfortable throwing to them. Been working a lot with the tight ends and Hunter Campmoyer, Spencer Webb, and Cam McCormick. So I'm really excited for what we got going on and how we can get better each day.
Next up, Tyson Alger from The Athletic.
Hey, Tyler. When Anthony committed, like, did you know who he was? Like, had you seen any of his games at BC just on TV? Like, did you go look him up or anything? And then you also said a great friendship there. Just what's that look like? Just two guys competing for a position and just your friendship.
Yeah. No, I had no prior knowledge of him. Just because I think that was just a wide gap between West Coast and East Coast television, and I wasn't really familiar with Boston College or who they played against on a large basis. But once he got here, once we got into meetings and started working out together and throwing, we developed a good relationship, and just honestly the respect for each other's game and respect that we were trying to get better. So I mean that's the base of it, and I'm really glad that we have that opportunity to get better together.
Next question is going to go to Hayden Herrera from NBC 16.
Yeah, Tyler, how is dealing with outside distractions this year different? Because, you've got teams in other conferences that have already played several games at this point. You guys haven't played yet. When a ranked team, loses the playoff picture, analysts talk about that. How have you guys kind of dealt with that?
Yeah, we haven't really paid too much attention to, whether we can have a good chance of getting into the playoffs or anything like that, or what a lot of people like to talk about. We're just trying to focus on us during this fall camp and trying to focus on how we can get better, because it's all going to change no matter what. And all we can really control is the games that we have and who our opponent is and how we can get better. So when all the cards, are on the table, then they can decide that. But it's honestly the greatest thing we have been is just learning from their mistakes and learning how we can apply our game and just simplify it and not do what they did, turnovers, explosive plays, things like that we can try and make happen or avoid.
Next up, James Kripia from The Oregonian.
Coach Moorhead was talking even back in the spring about just the differences in this offense, and he really addressed head on what fans have been clamoring for a while, which is more quarterback runs. We got to see you do a little bit of that early in spring. How much more quarterback run is involved? We've seen even the option run game, it looks like, in the more traditional sense. How much more of a quarterback run, and how much do you think you bring to the table in that regard?
Yeah, definitely more than last year. We're definitely mixing it up a little bit. There's always stuff on the table for what can be best for the offense. I'm obviously told the coaches, and I feel like this offseason that my speed and agility is definitely increased, and I feel comfortable running in any situation between the tackles on the edge. Whatever is needed for the team, to be honest. I think Moorhead has the capability to do whatever's necessary, but it definitely is going to be a little bit more obviously than last year, and I'm just excited to see how it kind of meshes together.
Next up, Kevin Wade, 247 Sports.
Being the quarterback there in the room the longest, what have you seen from the two freshmen, Jay and Robbie, so far through fall camp? I know Jay was there a little bit in the spring as well.
Yeah, Jay has really shot up this fall camp. He's been playing great. He's got a great arm. He's had a good feel for the offense so far. He's been playing well. I think they're both still kind of trying to learn the offense and get the hang of things. And Robbie's a really athletic guy. He's got a whole lot of talent, and they've been great in the quarterback room just as friends and teammates. They still got a ways to go for, I think, just learning football and in the offense. But I think the coaches have done a great job of that, and I'm trying to do the best that I can, to bring them along and talk to them, and so is Anthony, because we both have our different different viewpoints and how we can both bring everybody along, because that's what matters. We're trying to make everybody better and get everybody ready to play.
To Max Torres from Scoop Duck.
Yeah, Tyler, quick question in Arizona. We're really seeing a lot of Arizona guys, come to Oregon in the past couple cycles. We got 4 or 5 guys this cycle. What do you think has kind of played a role in Arizona becoming such a big state for Oregon recruiting-wise?
Yeah, I think it's just Arizona has a lot of talent. It was really kind of unrecognized before. I wasn't as recruited as much by Oregon and some other schools, and I think they're kind of starting to recruit down there and see a lot of these talented guys and a lot of great people. Before me was Johnny Johnson, guys like Jalen Jelks, Kanai Benoit. So I mean, obviously those are great guys, great players, and it's kind of good to see a lot more Desert Ducks coming back to the Pacific Northwest. And I know they've been great additions to our team, and we've all kind of bonded over that same state and how you got to deal with the weather change and how you can deal with all these other things. But it's been good to see a lot of guys coming and in the future.
Next up, Matt Preen, 247 Sports.
11 days in through fall camp. What have you kind of learned about this offense? What stood out in that scrimmage for you guys?
I think there's just a lot of opportunities for explosive plays and completions. You know, we spread the ball around a lot. You know, everybody's going to get a touch on the ball. I think there's not really one guy that's going to be targeted or one specific play or down and distance. You know, there's a lot of opportunities for plays to be made, and it's honestly been really refreshing because, you know, it's simplified reads. There's, you know, reading the defense a lot better. You know, I have such a comfortability with the protection and understanding how the defenses works now just for 3 years in, and it's always been really exciting, and I'm ready for what's to come.
We have time for two more with Tyler. First up, Tyson Alger from The Athletic.
What's it been like watching Cody Bellinger this year, and just how much of a relationship is there?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I basically grew up with his younger brother. We were best friends, and we obviously went to the same high school at Hamilton in Chandler, Arizona. But I used to sleep over at their house all the time when Cody was just a skinny kid like me in high school, and then he shot up once he got to the minors and majors. But it's not shocking. You know, he's been doing this for a while, so I'm really excited that he's in the World Series again, and hopefully they can pull this one off because, you know, they deserve it.
Last question goes to Ryan Thorburn of the Register Guard.
Tyler, with 5 new starters on the offensive line, how much chemistry have you been able to kind of develop with those guys behind the scenes the last couple of years, and how were you able to keep that going during the coronavirus absence?
Yeah, it's honestly probably been one of the greatest relationships that I've developed in the offseason, other than the wideouts. Is you know, they're my Alex Forsythe, Ryan Walk. You know, they're my roommates, so even we're at home eating dinner, we're talking about protections, talking about what we're gonna do against this blitz and what we're gonna call here, and then just going and, you know, Alex has been a great leader for them. You know, they have their own meetings, you know, COVID compliance wise, and whenever they can on their own, and they're talking through ball, and I'm just sitting in on it, trying to learn as much as I can. And you know, it's good to have Steve Jones back, guys like Sala, TJ Bass. You know, they're working really hard, so I'm excited to see what they can do. You know, there are 5 new starters, but they're not playing like it. You know, I've been really surprised and pleased. Not even surprised, because I've seen it in the spring and seen it in the offseason, but I think a lot of people are surprised, at least on the coaching staff, because, you know, we had such a great offensive line last year. But I think, you know, what they've learned in the past and how they're applying it to themselves now is awesome.
Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.